forecast for Sunday is temperatures in the single digits, wind chill below zero. How does that impact preparations for the game and perhaps
we're
playing
getting
out
it
the
ready
game?
for the Chiefs, whatever it is, it is.
Do you mind playing in severe cold?
Love to play in a championship game. Schedule whatever you want.
The always chatty and personable Bill Belichick talking about the conditions that are expected on Sunday in Kansas City. And, Chris, I'm looking at weather.com right now.
Yeah.
Single digits, no more. I see a high of 27 and a low of 22. That is a far cry from the forecast that we saw earlier in the week. And I think that benefits the Chiefs. Very low chance of precipitation, 7-mile-per-hour winds. I think that if you don't have a deep freeze, that's one less factor that could potentially keep Patrick Mahomes from being Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, first of all, I think the Patriots, when you really watch them, they're a run-first team. That's what they want to do. We all saw what they did to the Chargers last week. It was, pound the rock, then play action pass by Brady. That was really their game plan throughout, and it's been their game plan all year long. So, yes, cold weather, inability to throw the ball, I do think would favor the Patriots. Now that we're getting towards the temperatures we saw last week with the Colts game while we were there, and of course there's going to be no snow or anything like that this time around, I do think that favors more of the high-powered pass offense. Mike, you ever notice how Bill, let me just ask you this, you ever notice how Bill seems to be more personable on the phone call, conference calls, and then yet when he's on camera, he's a different guy in the interviews, where he's more direct, like we just saw him there. But he did a Kansas City press conference call earlier this week, and I felt like he was so much more charismatic. I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
You're the guy that worked in the same building with him. I think there is a stew of quirks and eccentricities with Bill Belichick,
Yes.
and if you put him on camera, those tend to manifest themselves a little bit more. I'm not trying to psychoanalyze the guy, but I just don't think he's comfortable. And look what we saw with Adam Gase at his introductory press conference, with all the cameras, wearing the suit, with all these faces that he'd never seen before, and being in an uncomfortable situation. Yeah, it's more comfortable when you don't have that camera staring at every move you make, and I think that's part of the discomfort that we see in Bill Belichick. Plus, I also think he is committed to not saying anything that will in any way affect his strategic goals and objectives and in any way make it easier for his opponent to overcome his team. I think that's part of it as well.
Yeah, I get that too. And Bill is he's extremely eccentric, like you said. I mean, there was moments, Mike, where I would be in the Patriots facility and it would be 8:30 at night and I'd be walking down the hallway and it was just me and Bill, and I would say, hello, coach, and he would look up like he had no idea we were walking by each other because he was so deep in thought and thinking about game planning or whatever it was. And then it was like, oh, hey, Chris, how are you? I mean, that's what...
Wait a minute. You would say hello to Coach Belichick. He wouldn't get your standard greeting, the one that you can never use on the air?
Nope.
You never tried that one? I think you would have got a reaction from him if you would have used that greeting.
Yeah, probably you're right. But no, I never threw that out there to Coach Belichick. I did not. Yeah.
All right, let's throw out some of the specific matchups that will be a factor on Sunday when the Patriots and the Chiefs get together at Arrowhead Stadium. And Chris, give me yours. What's the number one matchup that stands out to you as being relevant to the outcome of this game?
Well, I think, like you just talked about, we talked about the weather, and now it's a little bit better for the Chiefs' pass offense. The first thing I look at, of course, is, and I'm sure Bill Belichick's the same way, is how do we defend Tyreek Hill, right? And then everything kind of filters off from there. But the Stephon Gilmore, Tyreek Hill matchup is what I expect it to be, because the Patriots love to play man-to-man coverage. And Gilmore, arguably the best corner in football this year, the way he played. And last week, what he did to Keenan Allen, other than the pump and go that we saw for the touchdown that scored the first 7 for the Chargers, he absolutely shut down Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen could not do anything. So I think that matchup, and the other reason I'm intrigued with that matchup, Mike, is because if they go there, then, how does it go down the rest of the line as far as who matches up with Kelsey, who matches up with Sammy Watkins in certain situations. But I do think that will be the big matchup. Hill versus Gilmore. We know Hill is he is the fastest, most explosive receiver in football. They use him in so many different ways. And are they going to leave Gilmore on an island all game long and just let him play man-to-man? Are they going to move Gilmore off of him and put him on Sammy Watkins, or maybe double team Tyreek Hill with 2 other guys. I just don't know where it goes, but either way, I'm extremely interested to see how Bill plays Tyreek. You see here, this is a single safety zone coverage. If you're watching on TV, he throws a deep post down the middle to Tyreek Hill. It was zone. Tyreek found the zone. Mahomes throws a rifle in there, and then the safety can't make the play in space. I think they're going to have to be careful about letting him play in space and zone coverages a little bit in this time around.
Have you noticed anything in studying film of the Chiefs as it relates to teams using defensive backs aggressively at the line of scrimmage to try to disrupt Hill's timing, just slow him down, keep him from getting that explosion off the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, and I know because we talked about this a little last week, right? A little bit with I heard Rodney Harrison talking about it as well. And and this is the reason why. I think people, like even when Jaylen Ramsey got his hands on Tyreek Hill a few times, but Jaylen Ramsey, he's a special player too. And maybe Gilmore can do this as well. But I think the other thing you have to be worried about, and I saw this even when Jaylen Ramsey matched up with them, was when they try to be physical at the line of scrimmage and you miss, Mike, right? Then it's, oh no, he's gone by me and I'm in a horrible position and there's no way I'm going to catch up because he is the fastest player in football. So you have to be very picky and choosy about how aggressive or when you might want to be aggressive. It has to be, I think, a once in a while sneak attack type thing. If you think you're going to jam him consistently all game long, he's quick, he's going to make you miss, and then that could be, a 60-yard bomb over your head.
And it's an amazing combination to have the straight line speed, but also the ability to avoid that NFL caliber defensive back who is across from you, intent on hitting you, disrupting you. And if you have the agility and the explosion at the line of scrimmage to avoid that guy and get past him completely, then you run down the field completely unfettered. And, one of the matchups that I think is important, and it's a bigger picture offense versus defense, because we talk about, Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady. No, it's Patrick Mahomes versus Bill Belichick.
That's right.
What will Belichick do big picture? And the Tyreek Hill component is just part of it. What do you trot out to confuse Patrick Mahomes? Can you confuse Patrick Mahomes? I mean, the problem with a defense facing Mahomes is that if you do stymie what they're trying to do, what the plan is, when it breaks down, he's just as good as when he's running the plan.
Yes.
Like, if it all becomes chaos and he can't do the reads he's supposed to do and it just becomes backyard sandlot football, he's unlike any other quarterback in the league now or perhaps ever at making something happen. And how do you plan for that?
Right.
Like, hey, here's what we're going to do. And when it all goes to hell, do your best to not make a fool out of yourself and me. I mean, what can you really do at that point?
Yeah, that's a valid point, Mike. I mean, and that is Patrick Mahomes is the type of guy that drives Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots defensive coaches crazy because he has the talent, like you're saying, that you can't game plan for. And we've seen New England have little issues with these type of players. I mean, hey, Russell Wilson's 2-1 against New England. I know he lost the big one in the Super Bowl. We've seen Deshaun Watson and the magic he can make against New England. I believe Cam Newton has a winning record against New England. Aaron Rodgers is 1-1 against New England because it's those type of guys where, we got the offensive scheme stopped, but now we can't stop them in the pocket when the play breaks down and then their talents overtake, our scheme, and then there's nothing we can do. The first matchup, Mike, I'll just say this, they did their best to not let him run right. And other than the touchdown where he rolled right and threw the perfect bomb down the sideline to Kareem Hunt, they made it very hard on him. They kept Dante Hightower kind of right at the center line of scrimmage, and as soon as Mahomes wanted to break to his right, Dante Hightower a lot of times was there right as he was doing it. And if you remember, Mahomes throws the interception at the end of the first half in the end zone as they're down in scoring position and kind of has Dante Hightower dragging on his back as he's throwing it. I think that's one thing they're going to look at with Mahomes, Mike, and I think it's a great point by you, is they're going to go, okay, he's going to get out of the pocket. Let's not let him go right. Let's make him go left, which we know he's still amazing, but not as amazing going left as he is right.
And this is where the film study, I think, becomes an issue both as it relates to Mahomes and as it relates to the Patriots defense. Because I think if I'm Bill Belichick, the challenge is to find a look that I can give to Mahomes that will make him think that we're going to do something that we don't do, and somebody pops up in the right spot and intercepts a pass, when he thinks he's getting, before it breaks down,
right,
dupe him into thinking that there's going to be something there, and somebody swoops over and grabs the ball, and that pops the bubble early, and then it puts some doubt in his head going forward. That may be, it psychologically may be the only way to beat a guy who physically is better than anyone we've seen.
That's right. And Mike, to that point, that's what they did in the first matchup. Remember the first interception he threw kind of across the field, and Dante Hightower caught it? They did exactly that. They disguised. They made it look like Dante Hightower was going to blitz, and then he backed out, and Mahomes had not really seen anything like that. And he thought, oh, okay, I got, Travis Kelce coming across the formation. I'm going to hit this. And then all of a sudden it was, oh, no, there's Dante Hightower. So I agree. They're going to try to do their best to confuse him. And it's also one of the reasons I say, Kansas City, Reed, Mahomes, it's great that they're getting a second look at this defense because, Mahomes the first time I think was a little shell-shocked in the first half about things they did to him and the confusion. And I think he'll feel a little bit more comfortable this time around, kind of knowing how they attacked him and knowing that he's seen more defenses and different ways he was attacked as the year went on.
And he was sailing the ball early in that game back in Week 6. He settled down dramatically in the second half and made it into a shootout. But the Patriots were in position to run away with it after the first half. And to his credit, Mahomes got it together. And later in the program on the TV side for NBCSN and Sky Sports, you will see Chris Simms break down some of these plays he's been talking about as to how the Patriots confused Mahomes back in Week 6. Let's get one more in, Chris, and let's flip it over to the Patriots when they have the ball and the Chiefs are on defense. Give me a key matchup in that setting.
That Patriots run game versus the front four of the Kansas City Chiefs and their D-line. We talked about in the opening just how the Patriots are a run-first team, and it's a complex run game. It's one of the most complex run games there is in the NFL. They can do so many different things, traps, pulling guards, wham plays, toss plays. They do it all, and what really I say the Chiefs D-line, they're going to have to handle it themselves for the most part. I know the linebackers and everybody are going to have to help out, but what I'm saying is, the Chiefs are going to have to be careful about how many secondary people they try to put into the let's stop the run, basket there. Because if they start doing that, then you're going to see the play action passes like we did last week. So if that front four can kind of handle the run game by itself with limited help from safeties in the box and things like that, I think that will be a big key to the football game for the Chiefs to play, more coverage and help out their weak secondary in the back end so they don't get exposed there, Mike.
All right, and that is a great assessment of what can happen when the Patriots have the ball, and really as that predicted Mercury number gets higher and higher, it may be a little less important, and that again plays to the Chiefs.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.